To begin this occasion on a divine note, I kindly invite our respected HOD, Dr. Rahul Sharma, to share a few words and formally inaugurate this FDP with his kind and inspiring remarks. Sir, please.
Am I audible?
Sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Okay.
you are audible, sir.
Thank you, Millie, and thank you all the organizing committee that we are organizing this AICT training and learning faculty development program on generative AI. And I'm sure that this is a very latest niche that we all should, at least the faculty members, should know that how to utilize it at the maximum capabilities. So as I was learning about maximum utilization of generative AI in teaching and the teaching methods with the students, somehow we were very stuck initially that whether we should allow our students to use it or not. But slowly now we are getting used to it, and we are now finding out the ways by which at least we could find out that whether the content or maybe the slides or maybe anything is generated by AI or it is completely original. So there are many nowadays there are many debates on these things that whether we should accept generative AI in the education system or not, whether we allow the students to utilize it or not, whether it is accepted as a plagiarism or not. So there are many questions related to it. So what I want now that all of us who have actually like joined this FTP must take the advantage, learn the basic concepts, and then start to grow their knowledge about it. So I'm really very thankful to the Dr. Nitin Sharma, who has taken this initiative forward and has put up one proposal to the AICT, and they have accepted our proposal. I'm also very thankful that three of our international guests from UK and US and Estonia and one of my friend Rosa from Iraq is with us, and I hope so that they will deliver all the content that they have in their slides and all. And also I also welcome all the participants and all the other speakers. I'm not completely have their names right now with me, but all of them are welcome. Also, all the participants are welcome, and I am hopeful that this FDP will be a very successful FDP for all the teachers, and they will utilize it in their classrooms now on. So thank you, Millie, thank you all of us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Your vision and guidance truly provide a strong foundation for this FDP and highlight the transformative impact of education and innovation. The theme of this faculty development program resonates with the pressing needs of our times, focusing on generative AI. It emphasizes empowering educators with contemporary knowledge and teaching methodologies, ensuring they are well prepared for the dynamic advancements in technology and education. To elaborate on the objectives, agenda, and expected outcomes of this FDP, we are privileged to invite Dr. Nitin Sharma, Assistant Professor and Coordinator of this FDP, to share an overview and the rules of the program. Sir, please.
Okay, thank you, Millie. So this FDP on generative AI mastery from foundation to application aims to basically provide participants with a clear understanding of the generative AI concepts, including neural network, GAN, and transformation models and their application in creating text and images. So this program is basically include hand-on sessions to develop practical AI tools for solving real-world problems. And by the end of the FDP, participants will be equipped with the knowledge and skill to be used generative AI in the research, teaching, and industry, empowering them to create innovative solutions and integrated AI effectively into their academic and professional domain. So basically, You can see my screen. So this is the FDP schedule, which you can see the day-wise schedule is here, and the topic and the speaker name is here. And what are the eligibility criteria you should be knowing about it to attend this workshop after completion of this 6-day FDP? The attendance should be minimum 80%, and one assessment test we will going to be take at the end of this FDP, and the weightage of this is evaluation is the 70%. So if your score is should be nearby 70%, and one feedback you should be submitted at the end of this FDP, and this feedback you should submit it through the ATAL portal. So only those candidates is registered to the ATAL portal, they can just fill this feedback at the end of the FDP. And in between, if you have any query, you can contact on this number. Sometime we are not able to take the call due to some involvement in other work, but you can directly WhatsApp or message, or directly you can send the mail. We will try to solve problem as soon as possible. Okay, and wishing all the participants the very best for this FDP, approaching each session with focus and enthusiasm to make the most of the learning opportunity, divine the concept with curiosity and dedication, gain maximum benefit from the knowledge shared by experts. Let this FDP be a step forward in your professional growth. Thank you from my side. Thank you, Millie.
For outlining the significance and roadmap of this FDP. It indeed reflects an commitment of AKGAC to excellence in academia and the advancement of teaching methodologies. Now, it is my great honor to introduce our esteemed first speaker, Dr. Rosa Kamal Ahmed from the Computer Science Institute, Suleimani Polytechnic University, Iraq. With 18 years of expertise in IT management and digital transformation, Dr. Rosa combines academic rigor, research-driven insights, and practical industry experience to create a rich learning environment. She holds a PhD from Tallinn University of Technology and has conducted extensive research on e-government related topics, which has profoundly influenced her teaching and course materials. Her teaching philosophy fosters a deep understanding of IT fundamentals while encouraging practical application and innovation. Her research interests included e-government and digital governance, digital transformation strategies and maturity assessments, business process re-engineering, cybersecurity and digital skills, system analysis, design and implementation of large-scale information system, change management. Her work has had a significant impact on digital transformation initiatives and educational practices worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the extending a warm welcome to Dr. Rosa Kamal Ahmed. Ma'am, please join.
Hello. Do you hear me? Yeah. Okay. First of all, hello to everyone, to all participants, and to the program arrangement committee. Thank you very much for inviting me and for having me within this training session. I will be happy to share my knowledge and expertise in this area. If you allow me, I will stop my video and will share my screen.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So you are seeing the screen right now, right? It's shared.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Thank you very much for the feedback. As we actually have seen the program, it's distributed across different days. And for the first session, I'm supposed to be giving a brief overview about what generative AI is and how it works, and give an introduction to the subject. Before I start, I would like to give a short overview about my background. As earlier mentioned, I currently work as a lecturer and researcher and supervising many student projects and big projects in the university, in Suleimani Polytechnic University of Iraq. Also, I am a sectoral editor for the SBU journal currently, which I joined at the beginning of this year. In parallel, I work in Tallinn University of Technology as a researcher in Information Systems Group. Also, my research interest, I will just briefly mention here because earlier also you've heard it. I am interested to work in the subject of digital transformation related aspects, from creating roadmaps, strategies, and regulatory framework, and digital maturity assessments and EID. Also, we are currently working on different studies that looks at the AI application in the public sector, so kind of creating AI-driven governance architecture. And also, I'm interested in large-scale design and development of large-scale information systems and interoperability and cybersecurity. In addition to my academic experience, I also work in two big organizations in Estonia. I work for Actors company as a senior software engineer and client-side manager for the big project initiated in Iraq, which was about digital transformation in justice. In parallel, I also work as a part-time expert on digital transformation in e-governance Academy of Estonia. I am mainly involved in different international projects related to building smart governance from scratch, for example, building their roadmap, their strategies, and analysis, conducting analysis of their legislation and assessing their maturity or readiness level. So to start with the presentation of today, I outlined it as three main sections. First, I would like to give like an introduction about what generative AI is, how it's composed, and what are the main key components of it, how it works, and what kind of models are available at the moment. Then we move to how we can apply the generative AI in our daily life, what could be the application, and provide some statistics, how it's used across the world. Next, we will move to the future direction and we present the concluding remarks. Before we start the session, I would like you to join me here for a very small activity. So we know each other best. So please, if you can scan this QR code to access the platform Menti, or if it's not accessible through the QR code, you can access it through menti.com. And using this code, and please confirm and let me know if you have already accessed. So yeah, here is it. Have we all accessed successfully? Okay. It would be nice if I know some feedback here. Should we wait a few more seconds or? Okay. This is great. It should be showing, waiting for the presenter to. Okay. So it seems that everybody successfully joined. Let's now move on to the first question, and please provide your answer. I would like to know the levels of our knowledge regarding this session. Thank you. Very good. Okay, okay. Basic knowledge, not familiar. Very good. Thank you for responses. Great.
So there are some who are very knowledgeable.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Is there any problem?
No, I'm saying there are some who are very knowledgeable actually.
Yeah, indeed. I can see, right. So, more requests, more responses. Okay, so basically we see that the majority of participants are here with basic knowledge, which is a great news. So we don't have to start from the very basic. This is good. And of course, we have some participants who have already, who are very knowledgeable and at the advanced level. Regarding the next question, please tell us that which generative AI tool do you use it on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, or in general for your maintaining your daily operations at work? If you can provide me some responses so we know which tools are used the most. Okay, ChatGPT is our main tool. Who else? Okay, Claude Gemini, ChatGPT. Okay. Okay, nice. Interesting. Okay, very interesting. So we have 21 responses. It might get more, and as we see that in one way or another, we are all relying on these generative AI platform for our daily work. It doesn't mean that we fully rely on that, but it's assisting us somehow to make our work more efficient and effective. And as we can see here that we are more familiar with ChatGPT, and the majority of respondents are using it, including me. Okay, next question, please, is the last question. I would like to understand that people who use those kind of generative AI platforms, how do you feel about it? Are you satisfied and excited about it, or you are more concerned that it has some limitations, or you are okay and you have no voices for that, either concerned or excited? This is very nice. Okay, people get more concerned. Nice. Okay, so it seems that we are seeing the advantages more than the disadvantages or the limitation side. But of course, we explore both sides within the course of this session. And I am glad that people are more excited and they use it and try to use it and to make their work more efficient. So thank you very much, and let's go back to the slides now and to understand what we mean when we say generative AI. As a general definition of generative AI, it mainly refers to any category of artificial intelligence systems. So it's a category or subset of artificial intelligence system, which is designed to create new content for us, such as text, such as images, audio, video, any code that mimic the human creativity. Generative AI, it's not like any traditional AI systems that we used in the past. These were focusing on analyzing and predicting based on existing data. But on the other side, we can see that generative AI models use deep learning techniques, such as neural networks, to generate novel output for us. So these systems are often trained on a very vast amount of data and enriched with data sets and use different algorithms to produce output that are coherent, that are contextually relevant to our requests, and often indistinguishable, which are very close to the human created content. But if we go back to the historical development of generative AI, artificial intelligence actually recognized since 1956 as a field of computer science to create intelligent machines to replicate human intelligence. Later on in 1977, the machine learning introduced as a subject of AI or subset of AI to enable machines to enable them learn from existing data and improve it to make decisions or predictions. Then another subset were recognized from the machine learning, which was called deep learning, introduced in 2012. These were the machine learning techniques in which layers of neural networks are used to process data and make decisions. And recently, in a few recent years, since 2021, a new term called generative AI were introduced and aimed to create new content, any kind of content, if it's a written content, visual, and auditory. But of course, all this content will be generated based on a given prompt or existing data. Now it's important to understand what is AI literacy. So what we mean by AI literacy is the concept or it's an understanding of what generative AI is and what it is not. So it's very important for us as professionals in the domain, as educators, or as writers to understand what exactly generative AI is and what it is not. It's important to understand what it can do for us and what it cannot, and what is its scope of work. So what constitutes ethical and unethical use, and how to recognize the output generated by AI. So if we are a writer, we need to consider several AI writing technologies and try to use them and make our decisions for the more robust tools. We are, as professionals, need to consider AI tools that are currently opening new doors for new careers and job opportunities. Of course, we are, as educators in universities, we need to recognize and consider that there are many AI writing tools to empower ourselves and our students as well. So it is important to understand and make it clear for ourselves that AI is only an online and in-store shopping. It's not alive. It is not a human, and it's not, of course, smarter than us, because we are the creator of generative AI. So it can be integrated into all of our lives and all of our industries and sectors, and it's not going away. It's there for us to be used and to make our life easier. If we talk about the models that generative AI is composed of, Okay, so we start with the very initial model, which was introduced in 2013. It's called a variational autoencoder. So this model, when introduced, it was pioneering this breakthroughs in image recognition. So it's more relevant to the recognition of images, and it already introduced the ability to generate variations of content. This is based on the encoding of data to generate similar output. The application of this model mainly is in the area of image generation because it actually encodes the data fed and it generates the new image. So generating new image based on the learning distribution. It also has another application, which is anomaly detection. So it has ability to identify data points that do not fit in this learned distribution. It has ability to make a data compression, so it reduces the big sizes of data and reduces the dimension of the data, while still it has ability to maintain the essence of the data itself. And last thing is used or applicable in representation learning, where learning meaningful latent variable from downstream tasks. Next model is called diffusion model, and this model is another model of generative AI model that generates to us the data based on the modeling process of adding and removing noise in a very structured way as a step-by-step manner. So they are particularly popular in generating high-quality images, audio, making videos, and other complex data. Where they are applicable most in image generation, of course, they have demonstrated a state-of-the-art result in generation, somehow kind of a photorealistic images that they are look very much to the real images. In audio synthesis, of course, because they provide a high quality speech synthesis or music generation. In video generation, also they use the diffusion model and data denoising applications in image restoration and noise reduction for some contents. Next model, it's called generative adversarial networks. This kind of model consists of two neural networks. Basically, first one is the generator and the second one is discriminator. The generator is mainly responsible for generating new content, while the term discriminator is some kind of AI that is responsible more for decision making. So here the discriminator is responsible for distinguishing between real generated content. So the first the content is generated by generator, and then discriminator decides and compares. So the generator and discriminator are trained in competition, and they are working in parallel to help improve the quality of the generated content. Application of this model is more in the image generation, so to generate more realistic images of faces, of artwork, or any other object. It's also used in image-to-image translation, so transforming one style of image into another. In data augmentation also, they use a generative adversarial network for creating synthetic training data for machine learning tasks, and super resolution for the tasks that require super resolution. This model allows to enhance the low resolution images into higher resolution outputs. Of course, video and audio synthesis as well to generate high quality videos, animations, and speech. So Here I provide a few examples to distinguish between generative AI and discriminative AI. As I said, the generative is generating, while discriminative AI is more related to making decisions. So, for example, if we send the input, then discriminative AI makes its own decision based on the analysis of the data, and so on. Last model is the transformer model. This type of neural network architecture is very well suited for text generation. It enables very sophisticated understanding of the context and relationship between characters. The transformer model have been used to develop some of the most powerful language models that we are using, which is, for example, ChatGPT and BART, if you have used it. So application for that model is mainly natural language processing. For language translation, we see it mainly in Google Translate, in text summarization, in question answering, and chatbots such as ChatGPT, which we use it. Also for image processing, vision transformers apply self-attention to image patches. For audio processing, they also rely on a transformer model. And for generative AI models like ChatGPT, of course, as I mentioned earlier, to generate new content. Some of the current platforms that we use, they basically rely on one or more model. They are not, for example, relying mainly on transformer model, but they make a combination to make it more robust results. So if we take this simple example, if we use the search functionality of Google, we see that the generative AI is more applicable here. For example, it is able to generate suggestions by the model itself based on the terms we type. We type in the search bar, so the model simply trained against the millions or billions of queries to search to allow checking for the information and compares it and generates like the best or closest suggestions or queries for us. Next is to understand how generative AI works. In general, we can summarize it in three main phases. The first phase is the training, so the creation of the foundation model, then tuning and refining the results and comparison and providing the feedback by human, and then the generation, which composes also of evaluation and returning the output. So if we give a closer look, in the training phase, the creation of foundation model is established. Typically, a large language model here is involved for text generation or any specialized other models that we have talked about for different content types. So these models undergo intensive training or massive volumes of unstructured data and performing millions of predictive exercises to understand the patterns and relationships between different data. In the next phase, after the models have been established and the foundation model is being created, we then move to refine the model or the foundation model. Here with reinforcement learning with human feedback. So we are supervising the process and providing the feedback and training this machine to learn how different algorithms in different models are work and decides and predicts the results. And finally, generation and evaluation phase. In this final phase, it involves the continuous assessment and refinement of the model's output, what output they give, to us through this phase, it will be verified and validated. This is, of course, for the purpose of improving the accuracy and relevance of the final content generated. Mainly, key characteristics of generative AI are creativity. Of course, we know that it can generate for us novel and diverse outputs from different contents, such as videos, images, codes, and even games. It has a possibility to work based on a pattern learning, so it learns underlying patterns from the data that it was fed to, and it outputs to us a probabilistic output, so it has ability to produce a non-deterministic results. Basically, they are based on probabilities, so not 100% accurate results. In general, as we mentioned earlier, that it will be fed by a vast amount of data, and inside the foundation model, they will be processed, then they will create the final output and will be applicable. Mainly, it includes three different technologies: the neural network, the deep learning algorithms, and large language models. But in all, I mean, in overall, it needs to have the algorithms that computers know what to do, and it needs to be fed by the data as a fuel for the AI to understand what to learn and what to do. And of course, it needs the high computing power computing machines to learn and to process the whole processes and makes a final decision. There are two more important concepts or terms we need to understand very carefully. First one is prompting. Prompting is referring to the process of interaction between the human and artificial intelligence models. So this is by providing specific instructions or queries in natural language to receive coherent and contextual relevant responses. So here we provide the prompt or queries as an input. It will be by the different models will be processed, and based on our prompt, it outputs or generates the content that we were seeking. It's very important to understand how to basically to know how to compose your prompts, because the more clear and concise prompts you compose, the more clear result you get. So the searching behind is based on the prompt you provide. I provided here two links, which I found it very interesting to guide us how to make clear prompts for any generative AI platform. So maybe if someone interests later on, you can check. It's a very interesting guideline, shows us how to prompt clearly and correctly to get more robust results. As soon as we provide the prompts by the platform, the prompts that we provided are chunked or divided into smaller parts, which are called tokens. So whenever we use generative AI, it's important to understand what is token and what is prompt. Tokens here, they are divided to chunks in order to help the model in better prediction, or predicting the next token, what would be, or the final output, or it's called the completion. Mainly all models have maximum token length, and each model pricing is typically by the number of tokens that are used. Here again, there is a website by OpenAI platform. It's called a session called Tokenizer. So whenever token you input here, you prompt, it's chunked into different tokens, and here you see the results, how it works and which algorithms applied here. I yesterday basically tried to put this, and as we can see that it has been divided into 6 different tokens. Next, we move to applications of generative AI. Of course, we understand and we see in our daily lives that generative AI is being integrated into whole daily life across all sectors. We can see generative AI in agriculture, in education, in healthcare, with a lot of new robotics, new inventions that are all led by digital solutions. For example, the radiologist analysis of the X-ray and many more. So we can see it everywhere, but in general, it has different applications. For example, we can generate variations of different images based on our prompt. You can create different videos and generate new content based on the description that you provide, which video you want. You can compose music tones. You can also build games. You can generate any kind of code that you want to develop, any system. It's also useful for creating or generating arts. More generation of science fiction images. It can even make a song. Like whatever song you want, you can ask ChatGPT or any generative AI model to generate for you any song. Videos, of course, and replication of human faces and even the voices, which is called a deepfake technique. And finally, you can also clone yourself. So you can create your custom AI avatar. You can feed it with your voice. So you can have a copy or virtual copy online as well of yourself. There are different tools and softwares we can use depending on the need of our daily life, depending on the need of our work. For researchers, they can use or utilize any tool that helps them to improve their writing. For students, again, there could be different tools. For business sector, there are different tools to enhance or enhance, for example, the advertising, marketing for the products and so on. So we cannot, of course, limit the number of applications because they are in extensive increase. Every day we see a new application. Besides the application, I also looked at some statistics which were very interesting to me. For example, the global revenue of generative AI, it seems to be increasing by the time. So if we look at from now into 5 years or even more to 2032, we see that it's in a continuous increase. Another statistics is about the monthly research volume of generated AI. As we can see from here that Philippines people are more interested to use generative AI. So across the world, I couldn't see Indian in this map. I don't know what's the reason, but yeah, here it provides a good overview of who are the most users of AI. The AI market share is mainly by North America with the majority of 41%, but other regions such as Europe and Middle East and Africa and Asia Pacific and Latin America also, they have a good share. The total investment of companies it's not like surprising because OpenAI, and also as we can see it from your responses today, that we are more relying on OpenAI and ChatGPT. So it's estimated by 10 million, while to the least amount is 500 million for Alif Alpha platform. It's interesting also to know and share the breakdown of the most common ways that generative AI are utilized by the users. As we can see that answering question is the most requests that are asked from generative AIs. Then brainstorming, which is a good actually for initiating any project or any idea you have. You can start ideation with the generative AI and brainstorm with it. We can see here that the least used is for generation of coding. For composition of emails, 25% of the users are generating their emails within generative AI. Last statistics was very interesting, that the usage by men and women. I noticed that the majority of users are men. Not sure if women, we think that we are smarter and we don't want to rely on generative AI. But in general, men are more users, and if you see the ages, the majority of the users are between age 18 to 35. But this is also interesting that if you see older people are still interested to use such kind of new emerging technologies and new generative AIs. Moving on to the advantages and what limitations generative AI has. So if we start by advantages, of course, we know it has many advantages for us, and it can be beneficial to be integrated into different tasks that we perform on a daily basis. For example, one of the advantages is the creativity and innovation, because it enables new form of creativity through the generation of ideas and content that might not have been convised by human alone. So if you start a brainstorming session and ideation with the ChatGPT, for example, you may get a lot of creative new ideas. Next benefit is the efficiency and productivity of such kind of platforms, because they automate repetitive and time-consuming tasks for us. So they allow human to focus on more complex and strategic activities than to make a repetitive work. Another advantage is the enhanced personalization. It has ability to create a customized content and experiences tailored to specific individuals based on their preferences and their needs and their context. But moving on to the limitations, as we read and we hear that it has privacy and data protection issues. For example, the use of all personal data that we input and feed these platforms can lead to privacy issue around consent and security. Another challenge is the intellectual property and copyright, because it is not clear who owns the rights when AI creates the content. Does this content belongs to us fully? Are we the owner of the content or the platform, or who is the third party in between? This is still unclear, especially if the AI uses copyrighted materials in its training. This is an issue that needs our attention. Another Limitation, which I found it in different, resources while I was researching, is that environmental and sustainability. So AI training requires a lot of energy and resources, contributing to carbon emissions and raising concerns about the sustainability and environmental issues. Another challenge is relevant to the technological integrity, because we know some areas across the world, for example, some areas might be in South America or South Africa. There are still large number of people, or in particular students, lack the access to digital tools and infrastructure that are necessary to learn about AI. So this is like a train, so we have to follow it. It's going on everywhere. But what happens if I don't have the opportunity to learn? I will be behind in the next 5 years or so on. So it raises also technological inequity for the people who are living in rural areas, in areas where they don't have access to internet, to infrastructure, and so on. Finally, it raises a complex ethical question about the automated decision-making and accountability. So if we ask the ChatGPT to produce a full or whole research article for us, then there is a question of plagiarism. It will be detectable. Today there are huge amount of application of deep fake, where we feed and replicate the human in a different situation, and of course research issues and many more ethical questions are raised after the usage of generative AI. But what could be our next direction to make it more useful for us without being concerned about the limitations and all ethical questions? The future direction across the world globally, everywhere they are working on regulation of the AI. So countries like, for example, United States, in Europe, the Parliament are trying to regulate the processing, the usage, and the application of AI everywhere. So as we can see here, that the new EU AI Act first regulated and introduced it in June of this year, which is basically kind of a very good or positive news, because we are, as a user, as end user of generative AI tools, we can be more confident using it wherever there are legislations to regulate the usage of it, processes where there are punishments for wrong usage and steal or leakage of our data and so on. So we hope that all the privacy issues will be solved in the framework of this new legislation. Final takeaway message here is to understand the tools and their capabilities. So I encourage everyone to use it, but to explore also various generative AI tools to decide which one is better and which one fits more to your daily tasks. And it's important to understand their specific strengths and limitations. So try to use, for example, ChatGPT and Gemini, and try to understand what limitations and strengths of each of them. It is very important to provide a clear and specific prompt as inputs, because the quality of AI-generated output depends heavily on the prompt that we provide. So try to be clear, to be specific, and interactive to achieve the desired result that you want. Sometimes I do send the prompt and then I try to rephrase my question and send it in another way for checking and the validation of the results. Last message is to verify and refine the output. So never rely 100% on the output that you get from the generative AI platforms. Always you need to review, you need to validate and refine the AI output to ensure the accuracy of the result. Is the output generated is relevant to your request and aligned with your goals and your prompt that you requested, especially for critical tasks like research or decision makings and so on. This is the final stage of the session and presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and staying until to this moment. So if you have any question, I will be glad to answer. And I will back to the... Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
I'm audible.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Ma'am, I have a question. How can
Sure.
generative AI impact the future?
Sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, I repeat. How can generative AI impact the future, ma'am?
Well, maybe it's a bit not relevant topic to explore it here, but this is kind of a very predictive question. I don't know if any of you have came across the books that are written by Yuval Noah Harari. He's the best author currently working on the future of generative AI, on AI in general. I'm like reading their text always and following up on whatever he writes. So recently I have came across the report he made recently, which says that we need to work from now on the skill gap in 10 years, because AI will make this challenge for us that we replaces the human, and many of the tasks that are currently conducted by human will be replaced by AI. So we lose our job. So this is one of the estimation, like in 10 years ahead, we may lose our job. As a lecturer, we may be not needed anymore to give lectures to students, and instead of us, maybe one robot could go to the class and give, or even it will be all fully conducted in the online or virtual environment. But we never know. But it's good that it will be regulated by the legislation from now. So at least we can be sure that it won't go to the wrong way. But at the end, it depends on our usage, how we use it. So the future of AI is unfortunately not clear, and I cannot say that this is exactly the future, but we need to prepare for that future. But I really recommend if you can read the books by this author. So he tries to analyze and connect, and how based on neural networks, he relates it to how human networks are like kind of developed from the past to the era of AI. But he, of course, expects that we will have a gap in the skills, AI skills in particular. Yeah, I hope I have answered this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other question from any side? Anyone have any question?
Okay, if anyone have any question, please ask. We will unmute.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice feedback. I hope it was useful.
Thank you, Dr. Rosa, for such an enlightening and thought-provoking session. Your technical expertise has paved the way for more engaging and interactive sessions to follow. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for you as well. And I was really happy that I met you here online. Looking forward to meet you in future in person. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Rahul, for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you, Roja. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation. And I'm really actually surprised to see that what can be the future of the AI and the generative AI, and your knowledge definitely be helpful to make the foundation at least to stronger. So thank you very much, and I'm hopeful that we will be having more sessions in the near future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Nitin, do we have anything now? Anything else?
Yeah, we have another session for Shravan Yadav. So we just
Okay.
take a call back.
Okay, so do we have any break for 5 minutes for all the
Yeah,
participants? So they could,
only 5 minute
because
break.
in India, I think it is already, what is the time? 7 o'clock?
7:10.
7:10.
Yeah. So they could have maybe their small tea break or something for 5 minutes.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Will you please announce for 5 minute break?
Yeah.
Okay, dear participants, there is a 5 minutes break. After break, we will continue our session. Thank you so much.